Buddy, how's it going?
Yeah, we're live. Hey guys, this is Frank Klesitz with Matt Templeton. I'm here in my kitchen because my car is not working today and I wanted to do an interview with you. And this is a very interesting one. Matt Templeton, at the age of 20, who you're going to meet very briefly. Say hi, Matt.
How's it going?
All right. At the age of 20, started building a team. He got his real estate agent license when he was 18. Built a team when he was 20, built it to doing over 100, how many 100 homes a year, Matt?
Yeah, in the 100, 150 range, yep.
150 homes a year in Albuquerque by 25. And then you said, that's not enough. I need more. I'm going to relocate to a totally new city where I don't know anybody, Dallas. And I'm going to take the recruiter role for Keller Williams, which they call a team leader.
Yeah.
And I want to get really good at recruiting and finding talent. I want to build a brokerage, or a market center rather, while still having someone that runs his team, still doing 100 deals a year in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And you're 27 years old. You got married, what, a year ago?
6 months ago, last weekend. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're very successful for being young. And I was the young guy that was successful as well, but you started even earlier than I did. And I want to interview for our audience today about not only could we spend probably a lot of time on how you built your team, but there's a lot of content on that. You're setting 15 recruiting appointments a month.
Getting 15
new agents. I'm sorry. You're recruiting, you are getting 15 new agents every single month into your market center.
Yeah, new and experienced. So
new and experienced.
Yep.
Got it. And I would like to take the time with the audience today to learn exactly what you're doing and how to do that.
Cool.
Okay. So let's step back here. So for people that are not familiar with Keller Williams, you basically, let me see if I get this straight of how a brokerage opens.
Yeah.
Is, somebody has to be a majority owner, 51% at least, and that's considered the operating principal.
Yes.
They can bring on as many minors as they want, minority shareholders, usually probably agents in the office. And you have to have a letter of intent from 25 agents who are going to actually join before you get to open it.
Yeah, you have to have 40. You have to have 40
now. Okay. You have to have 40 agents to join. And then really what is so remarkable is when you have people who want to build teams and independent brokerages that want to build brokerages, is they don't make their first 3 key hires right away. And when you buy a Keller Williams franchise, you're pretty much forced, well, that's why you buy the franchise, make these 3 key hires, or maybe even 4, and that you get them involved in a coaching program. And let's go through those hires. So you as the owner of the office, you want to build this company, you hire a recruiter, which is called a team leader. That's the role you're in, right?
Yep.
And your job is to find and get agents and teach the current ones.
Teach, and also to find the staff members that are going to be working on your staff. So to lead your team. Yep.
Oh, so you find the staff member. So the next thing you need is a broker, right?
Broker's not even in those first key hires, right? So early on,
what are the first 3 key hires?
Market center administrator,
that's a general manager.
Yeah, and market center administrator is actually more like the finance director, the person that's kind of the operations director. So if you think of the team leader as the person who's driving the organization and the sales side of things, the admin side of things for a market center is the market center administrator, finance, operations, et cetera, and then receptionist. That's what you start with.
So you start with a team leader, you start with a
market center
administrative person, you start with a receptionist at the front desk.
Yep. Right. And then usually you're also now we would start with a productivity coach pretty quickly. We'd hire a productivity coach to run.
In the office.
In the office, yep.
Who's in the office. And what are they doing? Weekly meetings and one-on-one meetings more?
Both weekly and one-on-ones with a number of different people. So anyone that's basically not quite at a really high level of production. So either they're kind of at only a few million, or they're just brand new and they need some extra support.
Cool. So you spend your time on recruiting. It's almost like your assistant in many ways. So it frees up your time to recruit.
Yep, absolutely.
And then at some point you're doing so many transactions. Who's reviewing all the transactions, makes all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted? That would be the broker at some point, right?
Absolutely. So we usually add a broker in pretty quickly as well. So it could be an agent that maybe just has some experience in that role, or it could be the team leader doing some of that brokerage role until they can hire some more leverage in that piece.
Great. So this thing is built correctly with the right people right away. How much money does someone, would you say, if I were to start this brokerage? And this is not a pitch for Keller Williams. I just want you to understand you're basically coming in and starting a market center from scratch with 40 letters of intent of agents who will come over right away. And you basically hire these individuals on staff. What would you say the monthly cost of that labor and that salary is?
The salary, or just the
of all the hires, like the team leader, the market center administrator, the receptionist? What is it all a month that you have to spend as the owner to have those 3 people ready to go? Because for most owners, they are playing those roles, and they need that help. So basically, in order to get someone like you to a recruiter, and to get some of the helps with operations, and to get, let's say, a front desk person, which is usually what the person watching this is probably doing all those roles right now. How much cash they have to be able to come up with to be able to afford the staff to do it?
Yeah, it's probably minimum, depending on where you're at in the market, in what market, probably $12,000 a month at least.
For all 3 roles.
Yeah, at the base, right? And then everyone gets opportunities once they succeed. So yeah.
Got it. So I just want to start off like that. Not everyone can afford to hire a recruiter, but we're going to talk about the benefits when you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You get for your $12,000 or about, depending upon the market, let's say.
I like where you're going, Frank, because the thing that's funny about, as I run a market center, I get much better at running a real estate team. And I realize all the parallels between a market center operation and a team operation.
Oh, yeah.
And I've become a better business person because of what I get to do in my daily job now. So yeah, let's keep talking about this.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, if you're running a team, like man, if I had the money, as opposed to maybe let's take a little risk. Let's cut back on the leads we're providing everybody. Let's put that money into a recruiter or an operations person or a coach for all my agents, let alone. And let's roll the dice. Let's see if we get some people in here, get them productive, which I not only want to talk about the appointments you're setting, I also want to talk about the agents you're getting, but you got to get those agents selling homes.
Exactly.
Or else you don't make any money.
Yeah.
Matt?
Agreed. And if we think about it from a team perspective, the team leader, the recruiter of that team could also be the productivity coach. But if I was building a mega team, I would have one person at the top that was leading the staff, leading the people, but mostly focusing on recruiting and productivity, not going on appointments. So the person on the top of my team would be kind of like a market center, the team leader and productivity coach, until they could afford another person to split that job into 2. Yeah.
So let's start here. So the reason I'm interviewing on my Vyral Hangout is you've been a Vyral client for a long time. You've been doing Vyral marketing for your, as a way to stay in touch for your team back in Albuquerque, and also for your recruiting purposes, for like agent training, agent teaching, agent coaching, to get people to know who you are in Dallas. And you recently came to the workshop, and I reset you and reinvigorated you, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Good. So let's start here. You come on in and you say, they probably give you a goal. I'm paying you a salary as a recruiter. What are the numbers you have to hit that is expected for you, as far as maybe dials or contacts or whatever? But basically, let's just call it appointments. And then from how many appointments do you get an actual recruit? Give me those numbers.
The standard is 40 appointments a month for a team leader to get 10 recruits, 10 gross recruits. So adding 10 people to your office each month.
Now, are those the same ratios you're seeing?
I'm doing a little bit more than that. So we do about 40 appointments, and I expect to finish between 15 and 20 every month.
That's great. All right. So let's talk about where the appointments come from.
Sure.
So how do you generate your 40 appointments? What's the lead sources, if you will, of where those people come from?
That's a great way to put it. Lead sources, right? It's just like lead generation. Like, what are the buckets?
What are your applicant sources?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you could run ads looking for people that want to get into real estate. That's an option. Real estate schools are really valuable.
I want to talk about your 40 appointments.
Okay. Yeah. So absolutely. So some of mine come from, we run ads for people that want to get into real estate legitimately on Facebook.
Indeed, Facebook.
Exactly.
Craigslist.
Yeah. The truth about that is, though, that the fall through between like interested in getting into real estate to I passed the test and I'm actually getting a license, it's like 90% fallout, right? Even through that. So you're gonna want a huge net if you're using that as your lead source.
Got it.
One option. Real estate schools, right? So real estate schools have done all the big piece, and then now they're at least going through the classes. That's our next one. So we take food to real estate schools regularly and go meet with them and go present. And now I don't even go present myself. I go send some of my agents that have succeeded in our company to go tell their story. And then they'll bring back a number of sheets filled out with like information and what people are looking for. And then we just follow up. We put drip campaigns. We start texting all those leads that come in from the real estate schools. So that's another option. The one that's really valuable for us in Texas is the lists of people that are applying to get their license. And many states have lists of people that are applying or have passed a test to get their license. So we will reach out to those people via email, via phone, via text. Text is our preferred method. And so we text a lot of people in those lists. Got it.
What about existing agents?
You mean, yeah, great question. Thank you for leading me there. That's where I was thinking next. So what we've found, it's kind of like in your real estate business. If you've got a sphere of people that you're already in relationship with, those are other people that you should be working for referrals and maybe even to get business out of. In the same way, like we look at our office as our sphere. We've got all these agents that we're in relationship with, and we always are asking them who they know that would like to be part of our business. And so we were regularly getting referrals from our agents as well. And we incentivize them through profit share.
It's the agents in your office bringing you other agents.
Exactly. So that's another lead funnel is like, okay, who do you know and who have you recently done a transaction with? And then there's just the straight up cold calling. So we'll just pull lists from MLS of who's producing, what are they selling. We'll call them and start conversations. I specifically will call them and say, hey, congratulations, you finished in the top 20% of realtors in our area. I just want to congratulate you or whatever and start down that conversation.
That's great, man. Wow. So you come to this new market, at least you have the credibility of like building a team.
Yeah.
And having something in Albuquerque, which is pretty sweet. But you had to get people to know who you were and know of you. What were some of the strategies that you used to, I think people understand you made calls and you reached out to people.
For sure.
I want to talk about for a viral hangout, or what are some of the things that you're doing to position yourself as like the trusted guide?
Yep.
As somebody basically makes one of the largest life decisions of choosing where they're going to work more or less.
Yeah.
How are you positioning yourself more than just someone who's trying to recruit them and wham bam on to the next person?
Yeah. So let's divide them into two categories. We've got experienced and new, right? They're kind of, even though they're all in different stages, we're going to approach those differently. So in a new conversation, you have to kind of show basically a goal setting program or a program of here's how we're going to get you to where you want to go. So what is the goal you have? What would real estate be able to provide for you? Why is this important? And we kind of backtrack into them. What would the activities look like? What would you need to do at Keller Williams to succeed? And so I call them strategy sessions. I'll have little mini one-on-ones or 3 or 4-on-1s. And I'll basically go through a strategy process where I'll say, okay, if you want to make this amount in real estate, what's it going to look like each day? What are the tasks you're going to do? What are the number of appointments you need to set? How many calls do you need to make? And I help them kind of envision what their life would look like in real estate and connect that to the goal that would fund whatever they're trying to do, like the freedom or the more travel or whatever the thing is they care about most. So it's a lot of that conversation. On the experience, so on the experience side of things, we're having conversations about what they want out of life. So we're backtracking into what are your goals? How are you going to get there? Who's going to help you get there? And so the appointments look a lot like a consultative interview, a needs analysis. So I have a ton of fun with that because that's what I was a real estate agent. I love selling. I loved improving my business and tweaking those things. And so having those conversations. Let me take a step back though, because something you said, and you said, how do people start to think of you and trust you? And there's maybe in that appointment, an opportunity to create trust. But the hardest part is like, well, how do they even know who you are, right? I worked in a different market. And so I'm coming here, who am I? And I know that you're so good about like just providing value on these hangouts, but I have to plug Vyral because when I started here, I immediately started doing viral videos. Mm-hmm. And it was even like last week, I clicked in my head because for like the 50th time I was at an event and I never met somebody and they said, hey Matt, how's it going? And I was like, who? I was trying to play it off like I knew them. Yeah. And they said, yeah, I get your videos from you all the time. And I made that connection and I just remembered like, oh yeah, like that was so helpful for me that I had created thought leadership without even having met all these people because they're getting the video.
How many videos did you watch of mine and other people's when you were building your real estate business?
In my real estate business?
Yeah. Thousands of hours?
Tons.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah. Constantly. Yeah. In fact, I think I started watching videos that you were putting out 1.5 years or 2 years before I even started doing it myself, before I even hired Vyral, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just enjoyed you and Greg Harrelson. I used to always watch his stuff, right? Jeff Manson. So anyway, yeah, absolutely.
So you do viral marketing for your brokerage, for the market center.
Yeah.
And that's not really taught in the franchise system. Do you follow me? As far as, if I'm the owner of a KW office, I'm purchasing a franchise because I want absolute certainty of like, this is exactly how I want to go about really building a real estate business. And in the franchise system, which is interesting to me, are you taught like a 33 touch plan for your agents or for your recruits? Is it a part of the training? No.
No, not really. Yeah.
You saw that.
It's a theory, right? It's an idea. Okay, here we go.
Being in front of people.
Yeah, and we have a
teaching
system
people
for the agent, but not for the market center, not for the
recruiter.
Yeah.
Or for the team leader. Yeah. So you knew you needed to have intrinsically some type of touch plan.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Why don't you share with the person watching here of why you do it? Or let me ask you this. You came to my workshop. What are you going to do better? What are you going to do to leverage what you're doing with us?
Yeah.
To keep setting more appointments, or to increase the conversion rate, or reduce the friction, more people know who you are when you call. It'll probably just make your job like more enjoyable. Well, talking to people.
One of my recent ahas, and this is something I've had before, but I just needed to implement, was I get the click report of people that have looked at my video or read my email and
spent time with you online.
Yeah, they already, and they know who I am, right? If there were 2,000 or 3,000 or even 15,000 people that saw or got the email, and these 20, 30, 100 were actually the ones that paid attention, I can narrow into, these are the warm ones. These are the ones I could call and they're not going to think I'm crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was my aha, was I need to not just blast out all this content, which I am doing, and it is helpful, and it is a warm conversation a lot of times when I'm in the public realtor settings. But the calls to the people that clicked or watched the video is a huge opportunity.
So you're really doing a great job of building your recruiting database, because you're going on how many appointments a month? You're doing 60 appointments a month?
40 to 60, yeah. Usually closer to 40.
I mean, so that's at least 40 to 60 solid contacts you're adding to your recruiting list all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. But not even that. I mean, you probably have a lot of contacts on the phone with people that probably aren't ready for an appointment, that are still open to like stay in touch with you. Yep. Let me ask you this. How many agents a week do you speak with? Text, email, or now one-to-one? Nothing. I want any broadcast stuff.
Great.
But how many one-to-one conversations do you have? I don't care about the media. Do you have a week with a real estate agent?
Yeah. So one-to-one with a response, right?
Yeah.
Between 200 and 400 a week.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It's a lot of text messages. Very heavy text message.
Why is that? Let's talk about text messaging. Why? How come no phone?
99% of people are going to see it, and most of them are going to respond. So you just have more visibility. I still like phone calling. I actually don't think phone calling is a bad thing at all. Texting is just really fast. I use a Mac, and so I can connect my iPhone to my Mac and text from my computer. And so I get to send text messages while I'm typing, and it's just really fast for me. It also doesn't make, like when I'm making recruiting calls, the call usually is 10 to 15 minutes, and a text message I can have like 15 going at the same time. So I can make it really efficient, right? It saves me time. That's how I can make so many contacts, because it doesn't take as much time as the contacts on the phone, which there's still.
It sounds like this texting thing is a little secret to get more appointments.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because you filter through people that don't want it. So, I mean, we have a huge base of people we're texting. So we've got a huge list. It's not, if I only had a few hundred people in my market, that might be a little annoying at some point, but we've got, several thousand. So it's easy to go through all those people.
Yeah. So I would challenge you to, like, after every one of those contacts, like whether it's a text message or an email or a phone call, to offer people a free subscription to your newsletter, which is what Vyral is, or join your Facebook page, whatever you want to do, like subscribe to the podcast that you're running. You should offer like some way, like, would you be interested in that? What's your email address?
Yeah.
Or just send them a link where they can go sign up for your newsletter, or send them to your Facebook page.
This is for my own edification. Does it count if you get verbal confirmation over the phone? Is that enough?
That's totally an opt-in. Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you really want to get real technical with it, you like write it down so you have like a ledger.
Cool.
But it's not. Yeah. It's somebody. The whole point is, I don't really care how they give it to you, but you get permission.
Cool.
is that you only want to email people if they give you permission.
Yeah.
And I would like to give them 2 offers, actually. I would say, hey, I'd love to get your email address to send you my training tips of like what people are doing to like sell homes now in a very disrupted market, right?
Yep.
But also maybe here's a link to my Facebook page that's dedicated just for area real estate agents.
Yep.
So you can also get the email and then send them to the page. So hopefully they like the Facebook page. But gosh, man, please put that over your like computer and like remind yourself with like a rubber band or something to make sure you do that. And you're going to build one heck of a database and a following of agents.
You're right.
Publishing your stuff. It's just that you're.
Well, and here's the funny part is I actually already have most of their emails. So if I just get verbal permission, I don't even need them to give me the email.
Just get verbal permission. I have your email here. Is this still the best email? And then remember what I talked about in the workshop, right after you get permission. So what happens, Matt, after you opt in on a web form?
You get an email that says,
confirmation.
Confirmation.
Right? I want you to have a confirmation email template, like loaded up. Remember, loaded up in Gmail. So you're probably going to get 100 agents a week, let's say, saying, yeah, sure, send me your stuff. Fine. Great. They immediately need an email kicked out to them like that says subscription confirmed. You're going to get all these coaching tips and insights and live stream of team meetings and get the full scoop of like everything we're up to over here, success stories, agent interviews, webinar, whatever, right? Awesome picture review. You should totally play up the fact that you have a team that you need to repeat that you have a team that you've built that's selling a couple hundred homes a year.
Yeah.
That gives you incredible credibility.
Yeah.
People may not even know that.
Right.
I think you're awesome. some recruiter. No, you're like a very successful agent that can guide them.
This is awesome.
So for someone who's watching this,
yeah,
I think anyone watching this understands that Matt or Matthew?
Matt
publishes educational, helpful stuff, but with all the communication, all the outbound that you're doing, man, like if we just remember to ask permission and add them and then send a subscription confirmation email, boom, baby. That's going to help.
I love this.
We're going to turn you into a human opt-in form.
Exactly.
Of database building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me all this. Like my notes from your workshop are prolific. So I have too many action items and that was
that's a big one. It's something very simple, man. If you just sit down and create that machine, like all you gotta do is ask for an email, and it's the same email you kick out every subscription confirmation.
Yeah, and I remember that's the other action item I have for my team is we need to get better at just making everybody human permission forms. So
yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. So why don't you tell me about some of the content that you're publishing and the content that you put out that's helping you secure these 60 appointments a month?
Yeah. So I'm really big on. I love personal development. A lot of people in a mega agent role or in a role like mine enjoy that as well. So I'm always listening to podcasts and reading books and going to training. And
there's all your books up there behind your right shoulder.
Oh yeah, I do love books. Yes.
You got enough there?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and what's funny is like someone will come in and I'm like, I've got a book for you. Let me, and I grab them and I give, or even like sometimes I'll do videos and I'll just promote a book. So I'll talk about, hey, here's the book I'm reading right now. Sure. Here's the 5 things I loved about it. Here's what I took from it. Here's what I'm going to implement. Just want to share this with you today. So that's the kind of stuff I put out.
Now, how do you, for a guy like you that's operating at 100 miles an hour all day, to do all that.
Yeah.
How do you slow yourself down to take like making a video seriously?
Yeah. So that's interesting. So sometimes I have to whenever I'm doing something like this, sometimes when I'm doing something like this or I'm meeting with my account manager, because we're going to do a video, I schedule the 30 minutes before or the hour before where I'm like, okay, what am I going to actually think about? And I have to kind of consolidate.
Calm your mind, go take a walk.
And bring in and say, what are the topics that I think are most relevant or most interesting right now? And I'll start jotting down. So I always schedule in time. Sometimes it's not right before a call or right before the video. Maybe it's the night before, but I just put it on my calendar where that 30 minutes of focus time, I do a Pomodoro and I'm like, what are all the things I've learned in the last month that might be valuable to these agents that I could put out in content? And I'm trying to make it better, right? It's been just kind of, whatever comes to my mind, and I'm trying to be more intentional with planning out what would be the most valuable thing I could share.
So in the workshop I shared, you start a brand new person on video. I'd have them start answering questions like, hey, here's a question, I want to answer it. I really think, man, if you want to do a good job with the recruiting, is I really want you to write down, tell stories.
Yeah.
And I really want you to start getting good at how to tell a story as far as like an agent in your office and what they did. So the educational elements in the story of like what they did to solve the problem. But it's more about, let me tell you the story of how this preschool teacher that, I don't know, just moved here and hated all the parents at the preschool. So she left and didn't really have much options. So I ended up talking to her from a referral, and she's never been in sales before in her entire life. And now, like in the first year, she sold 20 homes. It's a pretty remarkable story. And she really doubled down on like networking events. That was her thing. That was her comfortable with. And it's totally something we support here. We could teach you here in our brokerage. So let me tell you the story how she did that.
So Frank, one thing that I always admired about you, and like I think of you as the thought leader around, is like copywriting and writing stories and telling those things. So like, do you have like a short way that you like give us the 5 point story?
Yep. Hang on.
I flipped the interview there. Like that you're
I was and turn the speakers down. They're getting some reverb.
Okay.
So I was actually at Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, which is one of his big annual event. It's like $5,000 to go, where it's amazing for a week. And he talks about like, you're writing the story of your life. And he went through a document. I'm going to see if I can search for it. 7 elements of a story. And what he shared was, let's see, I'm gonna pull up my Google Drive here, see if I can find it online. Is like every movie and every book, every novel, like basically follows these 7 points structured in a movie. And I was like, wow, this is like a great way to tell a story about someone's, like a testimonial or a success story.
Yeah.
And if I could figure out how to pull up my Google Drive. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna do a search for it. So give me a second. But I'll kind of overview it while I do a search. Basically, it starts off with is you have a character, and the character starts with a desire. So step number 1 is desire. All right. And I think after that, after the character has the desire, the character realizes that there's a problem. So number 2 is there's a problem that's preventing them from giving them that desire. And number 3 is basically they're like really stressed out, and they create a plan to solve the problem to get to the desire. And then step number 4 is you have the battle. This is the battle of the plan. Like this is the battle to reach the desire. You follow me? And then from the battle, you have basically some type of revelation. Like, what did I learn through this process? And you have growth. That by going through the battle, like you've almost like stepped up in some way. And then the last piece of the story is you have equilibrium, where now that you've had this desire, you've overcome this challenge, you put together a plan, you battled the plan, you've achieved the result, but through that process, you became a better person, and the character ends the story of like the character's like a new person, very happy ending, roll credits.
That's awesome.
Isn't it? Like it sounds simple, but like it's almost like simple things that are written out like that. And if you actually study lots of movies, if you watch children's books, like I read my kid books, like they all follow those elements. It's like, the puppet had this desire, and then the puppet had this challenge, and how the puppet deal with it. So I'm going to see if I can find the elements of the story here to share with everybody. Maybe not. Hold on. 7 elements of the story. Is that cool?
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, that's what
I found it.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Are you guys ready? Here we go. So I want you to tell more stories. So let me give you the format. Let's see. This is going to be really small, I bet. Oh my gosh, that's going to be really small for the audience. Hang on, let me download it. Don't you love my interviews, Matt?
Yeah. No, I do. We should do this more often. This is really fun.
Here we go. All right, how's that?
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
And then let me zoom in. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All right, we're having fun now. All right. Desire. An agent you met with an agent that had desire for some unmet need, but there was a problem the character was not fulfilling, and they want to fulfill the desire, but there's a problem or need there. And then there's an opponent. There are three types of an opponent. They're usually battling the dragon, they're battling somebody else, or really for you, Matt, it's battling internally. They're battling themselves. There's some belief, there's some internal thing going on that is really the source of the problem to get them to their desire. Like, why aren't they picking up the phone and talking to people, right?
Yeah.
So it's an internal issue. So now, okay, we've identified, here's the agent's desire. What was it? This is the problem they had, and there was some internal issue with them, likely, or it was external, who knows? But you come up with a plan. This is where you come in. You come in, you said, look, to solve this problem, this is the plan we're going to do. And the character goes, okay, this is the plan. And this is the story. This is the character struggling to put in place the concepts talked about in Gary Keller's $1 Million Real Estate book that you teach.
Yeah.
Right? So after the battle, there's a self-revelation. I learned something, new beliefs, new values, new character traits. Aha. How about that, Matt? How much have you grown as a person with all the stuff you've dealt with building your business the past 10 years?
I'm sorry,
right? How many battles have you waged these past 10 years building your business? How many battles have you waged? And how have those battles made you a better person?
Yeah.
But more importantly, that made you a better person, equilibrium. You have a changed character now. The character develops a new belief system, new values, new character traits for his or her life. And the character's real need is fulfilled. So awesome. This is how you tell a story. So I'll send this to you, but if you really want to get I would probably say the highest form of content creation would be some type of interesting storytelling. When a professional speaker goes on stage, they always open with a story,
Absolutely.
As opposed to some raw tip. And because you can hide the raw tips. That's the plan part. You can actually give the hard knowledge, but just wrap it in a container of telling stories of what's going on with your agents. And I think what would be really cool is the agents in your office would probably share those on Facebook and want to share them with their friends, which would help get you more recruits from the agents database.
Do you think that's are you saying specifically to share their stories?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Say I'm an agent and I really respected you and you made this amazing video about telling the story of my success. I don't know. That's pretty cool. I would share that.
Yeah. That's awesome. You're totally right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what that's what goes through my mind for content, right?
Great. Thank you for that.
So you have building your database, you are publishing helpful educational videos, and then we talked a little bit about calling the open and click reports. Let me ask you this question. How has, it's a ridiculous question because you've been a client for so long, but does this stuff work? Are you getting benefit from it?
Yeah.
Spending the money? Is there an ROI in some way? How do you know this is even worth your time and money?
I actually, I was thinking through this the other day. I was like, would I ever stop using Vyral? And I was like, no, it's so good. I think the ROI shows up because we know we've got to have touches. We know we have to be dripping on people. And the real value is not that the content was created or that that there was something different or interesting that I couldn't have done myself. It was the leverage. I know there's ROI because I would have to do this. It needs to be done. And if I don't have to do this, Vyral's doing it for me and saving me hours and hours of my month and getting it done. Yeah, there's huge ROI. Because I'm going to do this either way. It's just a matter of who's my leverage, who's helping.
You're doing it well. You're doing it well. Where can someone go to watch your stuff?
Great question. We've got a YouTube channel.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube and you search my name, I'm pretty sure both Keller Williams Urban Dallas and also Templeton Prime Properties comes up. And then also we publish obviously that content to the blog and to Facebook as well. So you can Google and find a lot of stuff. I had someone call me the other day that was looking for talent for TV, and they found my Vyral stuff on YouTube. So yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, okay,
you're getting cast in the reality show.
But yeah, exactly right. Multiple times per week, I have somebody that comments on, well, yeah, I've seen your videos, and I know in my mind they've seen the stuff that Vyral's publishing for me. So yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
That's great, man. Yeah. So one of the things we talked about the workshop, so you have the core Vyral marketing plan, which is, reconnect with your list. You built yours from scratch out in Dallas. So there really wasn't much reconnecting there. So you have to grow it. We talked about growing it. You're reaching out to people. You're talking to people. You are communicating. You're going to start making videos, telling stories about agent success with kind of embedded tips.
Yeah.
And you're going to prioritize follow-up with the people that are watching the videos in some way, where they're calling them or messaging them, and just see if you can proactively spark a conversation with someone that's been spending time online with you. Is probably going to give you more benefit than someone who does not know who you are, right?
Yep.
One of the things we talked about in the workshop was the idea of like co-marketing and including some other businesses in your content and other vendors to bring them value, to start a relationship. So maybe they share your content with their list.
Yeah.
But also maybe they would be happy to pay you in some way for the exposure that you can bring, because you're in kind of toll position with your list to let them through and to bring that to them. But also, remember how we talked about those monthly mastermind meetings?
Yeah.
Like different vendors. Tell me your thoughts on that. Is that something that you do or you're interested in, or you do currently?
So we have started doing a number of co-marketing pieces with vendors that are in our sphere, and we're looking for, I shouldn't even say vendors, because oftentimes we think of that word, we think of people that are in the real estate field, like they're doing inspections or mortgage, and it goes much wider than that, right? It's who are the businesses that I'm in relationship with that have a product that they want to reach people, and they might want to reach the same people I'm trying to reach, so we can co-market in that way. Restaurants, right? That's one of the easiest ones, or other services, lawyers and financial advisors and that sort of thing. And so we decided in last year that our focus was going to be on our sphere, the people that were already in relationship with us and mastering that database. And then we said, well, how could we plus our sphere, give our sphere more value? And the aha was we should be helping them build their businesses, because many of the people we're in relationship with have, even if they're working for a company, they have something they're trying to sell or promote.
Yeah. I mean, you're Matt, you're one of the most talented marketing and sales people in the world.
Thank you.
And I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Like you building a real estate team. The only reason anyone gives you money, the consumer, is because you're selling marketing and sales services. So first off, you were selling marketing and sales services to the public and doing very well at it in Albuquerque. And now you're like a coach and a guide for other agents to like build their businesses.
Yeah.
So there's like, you take a plumber that has never been around any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you just talk to them that there might be another way to build a business than a straight referral.
Yeah.
That's a mind-blowing idea.
Yeah. And yeah, it continues to blow my mind. Like whenever I've heard you say this multiple times now, and I haven't fully executed to the level I want to. And so now
it's a whole different thing. Well, there's only so much things you could focus on, but I do think like you would really get a lot of joy out of not only masterminding agents, but like you could just as easily bring other businesses in those meetings. Financial planner, attorney, go find people who would say like, man, I'd love to be able to get in front of all those agents at your brokerage. Because those agents can get me in front of all the homeowners that are transacting homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think you've got a good point there. So Frank, how would you break down like action steps in that? Because I've started working on that, and it's such a cool idea. When I'm around you, my mind starts getting so creative, and I like want to do everything. And I feel like, what's the first thing I should do? Well,
it's actually something we do at Vyral now. Let me show you when we sign up a new client. So one of the things is I wanted our clients to have a way, again, purpose is never profit. It's like an outcome. But like, I would like people to be able to break even on their fee. So like if you're paying $550 a month for Vyral, like I'm just like, man, you can find some people who would happily pay like say two people, $275 a month to break even on it. Like I think all of our clients should easily be able to break even on their $550 a month. Right. And the question is, what are you going to do for that person for the $275? So let me just give you a couple ideas up on the website. There you go. You see the website, Matt?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the how it works page here real quick. So you pay us $2,000 and $550 a month. Let me go through this co-marketing sponsorship list. So one of the things I want to provide at Vyral is, you sign up and we get you all built out. We have this build process, but I threw in here, where is it? Zero cost to your expenses. We'll build you a sponsor list. So we'll compile a list of complimentary businesses who want to reach your database. This would be your agents.
Yeah.
You promote your sponsors in your videos, put their offers in your email, send a coupon to your database in return for an advertising fee. This will zero cost your investment with us. We look for businesses who spend money on advertising with excellent reviews, and then we send them a letter. You just pay the postage to secure you a meeting. So you're probably wondering, so what we would do is we'd go like Angie's List and Yelp and find like some financial planners. We find some, I mean, there's so many businesses. I should probably have a list here of them. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. All these different prospects, and we would send them a letter, something like this. Let's see if I can share it here. Where are we at? Hang on. Here. Dear so-and-so, and this is from, Keller Williams, Dallas, whatever. I have real estate agents in my office who may be interested in referring you to their customers or hiring or buying from you. Would you call me at this number or email me before this date? I'd like to start a long-term relationship to get to know you better. If you're interested, look forward to it. Matt Templeton.
Absolutely.
How easy is that?
Yeah.
So send out 100 of those letters, you get some calls, and then you meet with them,
Yeah.
And on the other page, I won't show it now for time, but on this other page, I have an example sponsorship agreement. Remember in the workshop, I gave you the sponsorship agreement of like all the ways you can incorporate them into your viral marketing. But honestly, the most important one on there was like a monthly little mastermind meeting to share ideas. I think a really cool value add to your agents would be is, you'd lead like a monthly mastermind meeting to share ideas to grow business. You have to have some open agents to do that in their own office, right?
Yeah.
But one of the ways you make that easier is you invite in your co-marketing partners too, like your attorney, your financial planner, whatever. You say, guys, look, we all have businesses. Let's just talk about business growth. Let's not talk about tactics as far as like how we get buyers and sellers. Let's talk about lead generation, lead conversions. Let's look for the things that overlay all businesses, and let's all help each other. Because this guy over here built a thriving financial practice, and you have how many people working for you? You could probably lend advice to a real estate agent, and we could start like we could stop being so incestual of ideas, if you will, of only looking at one industry.
You're right.
And we can maybe get some ideas outside the industry. I was listening to it. I can't remember the tape it was, but fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it came from bank tellers. Like, you go to the bank and you drive up. Apparently, some fast food executive was like, "This is great," so he did it for fast food. So if the fast food industry didn't look at the banking, they wouldn't have drive up fast food.
Yep.
Something like that.
Who was that? I heard that.
I heard that story too. I don't remember who it was, but I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." So I don't know. I think that would be kind of a cool idea to help you out with your recruiting. Is just bring other agents in, just have like a business meeting. So it's the monthly business meeting on just general business. And I'm going to bring in other businesses to just share some very interesting insights. These are some of our partners here at our firm, so we'll refer them and use them because they're some of the people we work with here to get to know that help us out here at our brokerage, right? Maybe financially. But you have a monthly business meeting, and that alone would be worth paying for them, short of any advertising you give the agents. And I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm taking so many notes. Like we're just chatting, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. Oh, good, perfect.
Yeah, this is an idea. Not to distract you from setting your appointments, but I think that'd be kind of a cool thing. So what I'm getting at is a lot of clients will incorporate other businesses into their marketing, and they kind of maybe try to mastermind them a little bit. Because here's the deal, man. Like anyone who hires Vyral, you're a pretty savvy person in the perspective of people that don't know much about marketing or sales.
Yeah. And I think also this is really good because it's just a matter of always plussing. Like, what's the next thing? What am I adding to what I'm already doing? And so you don't have to figure it all out, like I've even heard you say, if you're brand new to video, you just do this one thing. Or if you're brand new to this, just do this one thing. But then, okay, once you get to the next step, what's the, I think
that's your character, man. You're knowing you're constantly trying to get better at everything you do.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, let me just give you, it's so funny to watch you light up with an idea. Like, yeah, I could totally get better at that way by telling a story.
Yeah.
Or, let's do a monthly business meeting that you hold for, a couple hours in the evening or whatever, but you invite more than just agents to it.
Yeah. I think it's great. I like it. Hey, going back to something you said earlier, the confirmation email piece is really valuable because it's not just like I got a confirmation, I hit compliance. There's an opportunity, like you said, to basically self-promote. Like they see, this person's awesome, and that's the more valuable piece.
Yeah, the whole purpose of the confirmation email is, I don't really know how to say this correctly, but you need to know how awesome I am.
Yeah, I'm amazing.
Yeah, because you just basically had this text message with me, like, you're not positioned correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just some scum of the earth person maybe they spoke to. You never know, but you need to like let them know how important and how helpful you can be and how awesome you are, like immediately. Like, so the second they see the subscription from Matt Templeton, like, what's this email? They open it, like, boom, these nice photos, all your reviews, a picture of your team. They scroll down, like, man, this was the guy I just talked to?
Yeah.
Okay, I should take this guy seriously. Like, this guy's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then it all can be manufactured.
Quick question. Do you have any samples of confirmation emails that you've seen?
Yeah, our office has. I mean, here's the deal. Probably a good one is just go sign up for my newsletter on the website.
And see how cool you are?
Yeah, you can go see how cool.
Getviral.com.
Yeah, just go to getviral.com, scroll down to the bottom, and just you'll see join our VIP list or join our e-newsletter. And it should kick out a subscription confirmation email. I think really the how cool it is just see me in a suit. Yeah. Most people don't see too much. All right. Cool, man. Well, let me ask you this. Last question.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for another recruiter, someone who was in your shoes, either at Keller Williams or in another brokerage, to reduce the grind of prospecting and recruiting agents? What advice can you give them besides just hire Vyral? Like, how do you use Vyral, but like make it so there's so. I guess I'm trying to figure out my question here. Like, let me try this again. How can you help recruiters attract more recruits as opposed to having to chase more recruits? Give me more advice on what would you tell the recruiter? How can I attract more recruits as opposed to having to chase them?
Yeah, you know, that's funny because I feel like I already have kind of a mindset of attracting people to us, not like chasing them down.
Well, there's insight to that. Most people don't have that mindset.
I think you have to start with a mindset of I have value to bring to this person, and I really care about them getting this information because otherwise they're probably not going to succeed at as high of a level. And so if I go take this information to them, and they succeed really well,
that confidence, because most people don't have confidence in what they're selling or what they're offering.
I think
like they're phony.
I had the success of. I did it. So what I'm telling them is something that I used myself.
Yeah.
If somebody's recruiting and they haven't done that, just look at a model and say, has someone done this before and succeeded with it? Okay, great. So if I go tell somebody about this, am I giving them success tips, even if it hasn't worked for me yet? I don't think that's necessarily phony. I think now don't go sell something you don't think is unproven. But if you believe, hey, somebody else has done this, followed this exact process and been able to succeed, that's enough, right? But go add value. Go teach somebody what you've learned. Go get the information and bring it to them. And that's what attracts people is when they say, wow, that person has so much value and information to give me. I think I could really learn from them. Majority of people
you're going into work every day just saying, I'm just going to go help a lot of agents.
Yep, exactly.
Not sell them.
Yeah, no, definitely not. That's not kind of even my.
That's the tip. I think that's a huge tip. I think for a lot of recruiters that are coming from a place where it's like, I have to jam as many people here as possible. I have to sell these people on why they need to work here. And you're going out with the mindset of, I really want to help these people grow their business.
And the worst thing you could do at an appointment is just tell them all the reasons they should join you or be there or why you're great, right? I do like the idea of the confirmation email, getting that you want to prove that you're great, but you shouldn't have to tell them. You should just be talking to them, asking questions, going through a conversation, and then adding value or helping them self-discover something. And they're going to be attracted to you because you helped them, not because you told them something.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
Matt, thank you. This was very helpful.
Good. This was enjoyable. Yeah, I got tons of value out of this. I'm going to have to rewatch it because there's so much here.
I'm taking my interviews a little more as like a coaching discussion. And I'm taking my interviews. I'm taking mine more in this direction as opposed to just like straight up interviews. I think these are more valuable.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's all I got, man. Thank you. I think you shared some good tips.
We could go for days because Frank's got like ideas. He's got more ideas generated than he has enough time to speak them out loud.
Well, you got to pick the right ones to get the results so you stay focused. That's the key. It's almost like I literally have a to not do list in my office.
Yep, me too.
This is my to not do list.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna do everything except on this one. So
well, now I have to take all these. Like I wrote down 40 things, not quite 40. I wrote down probably 15 things that I want to do, and now it's like, okay, what's the one you're gonna go do today, and then what's the one you're gonna do tomorrow? Not. I've got plenty of books of things I never did.
That's great. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time. And for those of you guys watching this, go to getvyral.com. You can download the marketing plan that Matt uses right on the homepage of our website. And also the event we were talking about, I teach some events around the country. The next one I have coming up as of the time of this recording is in April. And it's actually going to be right next to the KW Maps Masterminds. That's going to be going on out there, actually, conveniently, through KW. And Tony DeCello, who's a pretty well-respected person at KW, is actually going to be at the workshop.
Wow.
So, yep. So he's going to come there and share his sage advice with us, which is good, on why you need to do a better job staying in touch. And if you want to go to that event, you can go up to the events page on our website, grab a ticket. Then ultimately, if you like what you hear and you like the ideas and you like this approach and how this can complement your prospecting and complement your reach outs, you can request a free strategy session up on our website, and we'll talk to you and explain how the whole program works and see if this even makes sense for you. My sales team is not on commission, so you'll be able to, not that that affects anything, but I like saying that. I just think anything I can do to reduce the fear that you're going to get closed, you're not, is what I'm trying to say. Right? So thank you so much for watching, Matt. Thank you so much for doing this, and we will end the interview right there.